Hello. Okay. Happy Tuesday night. We are going to do we have 2 more lessons left of this whole 2019. Yay. And this is one of them. So get out those notes that I gave you today in class. And it has proportional and non-proportional up top. Let's get started. So if we think back to when we talked about proportions, remember that we made ratios, and when we set them equal to each other, we figured out how we put them in proportions. Sometimes we had numbers here and here and here, but we didn't have something here, and that was our x. We had to cross multiply and divide to get this. Kind of remember that stuff? Well, kind of go on the same lines as that. We're going to talk about the difference between a proportional and non-proportional relationship. A proportional relationship is when one quantity varies directly with another quantity. So it's in proportion. It has a relationship with another quantity. It has a relationship. Okay. So let's look at these examples. Every time you earn 10 stars at Starbucks, you like Starbucks? I'm like one of the only adults in the world that doesn't like coffee. I just don't like it. My dad doesn't like it either. Everybody around me loves coffee. I always get hot chocolate like an 8-year-old. But it's okay. Every time you earn 10 stars at Starbucks, you earn a free drink. Yay, free drinks. I do like that. So our x variable here, let's go ahead and label this. Our x variable is going to be our number of stars. Alright. And our y variable is going to be the free drinks. Number of free drinks. Alright. So let's try to figure out what our constant of proportionality is here. Every time we earn 10 stars, we get 1 free drink. So remember, it is the y over x. Your constant is y over x. Remember that? Y over x. So remember, we're always going to put the bottom over the top. So for every free drink, we get 1 free drink for every 10 stars, right? That's what it told us. So our proportion is going to be 1 over 10 because you put your y on the top and your x on the bottom. So 1 over 10. So go ahead and fill in this chart. This is a very simple one. Okay. So how many stars would it take to do? 2. Yes. 20, 30, and 40. Okay. That's like 2nd grade math. Good job. Alright, so now we're going to graph that. Do you remember what happens when we graph it? Well, at some point you have to start at 0, which is our origin. Okay, this is the origin at 0. And let's go ahead and label those axes. Do you know the word axes is the plural for axis? Yes, now you do. So on our y-axis, we had number of free drinks, and that's not hashtag free drinks. That's number of free drinks. And then down here is number of stars on our x-axis, because that's what our x-axis is. I just confused my colors, but it's okay. You're smart, you can figure it out. Alright, so now let's go ahead and label our graphs. And since we only have 4 free drinks over here, let's go ahead and do every other line is 1, 3, and 4. Okay. And then down here we have 10, 20, every other line is 10, 30, 40. Okay. So 0, 0. A zero number of stars, zero number of stars, you get 0 drinks. So we're going to go ahead and put a dot there at 0, 0. So it starts there. And then we're just going to plot what our chart says, our graph, our table, sorry. So at $10, we got 1 free drink. At $20, we got 2 free drinks. And I'm trying to just guess here. At $30, I might be a little off on my lines. Without grid lines, it's kind of hard. And at $40, we got 4 free drinks at Starbucks. So let me show you. I'm going to draw a straight line using my little post-it notes here. Okay. And we're going to keep an arrow going here. We're going to show an arrow here. Shows us that the line would just keep going at that same rate. It's a constant rate of change. Remember that? So it's a straight line. And it goes through the origin. We're going to make a note here because you're going to see that that's important. Okay, so it goes through the origin. And there's an arrow there that tells us that. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this other example, and then we'll finish the rest of the notes. You pay $25 to join Planet Fitness, and $10 a month after that. Okay, $25 to join Planet Fitness and $10 a month after that. So this is your X is going to be your number of months, and your Y is going to be cost. Okay, so this time we have to put that $25 in to join, but it's not really on month 1 because it's before we start. Like, we have to pay a fee. So we're actually going to put that in at 0 months. It was $25. That's just the startup fee. Remember, there was a fee to start. Okay. So at 1 month, how much was it? It was $10 a month after that. So what's it going to be? What's 25 plus 10? 35. 2 months, it was 45. You don't have to pay that fee every month. You just had to pay it to start. Oops. And at 3 months, your cost was $55 to 3. All right, you with me? Okay, so let's look at what would our equation look like here? Well, you can already tell it's not going to be a constant rate because we didn't start out at the 0. And this is 0 to 25, but this is 1 to 35, 2 to 45, 3 to, it's not constant. Okay, so let's make this note out here. It's not constant. The whole thing is not constant. Now this is constant because it's increasing by the same amount, $10 each time, but the beginning was not. It started at 25. So it's not constant the whole way through. So we have to go back to our y equals mx plus b, that equation. Okay? So we're going to make this equation. Y equals, remember, m is our constant rate, and it could be after the initial fee. Okay, it's not, m is just a constant rate for the whole graph. It's not talking about the fee. So what was it increasing by every month? It was $10 a month. So $10 times x, however many months you wanted to do it. If you want to do it for 12 months, it would be $120, right? That was the cost per month. But what did we have to pay at the beginning? We had to pay that $25 fee. So you have to add on that $25 fee to however many months you plan on doing Planet Fitness. So does this look familiar? 10x plus 25? Yes. This is just like what we've been looking at with the y equals mx plus b. 10x plus 25. So this is how it relates in real life. There's lots of things where you have to pay a fee to begin with, and then you pay like a regular rate after that. So it's like this is your b, and this is your m. Okay? Well, let's go ahead and graph that. So our x-axis down here is the number of months, and our y-axis is the total cost. Okay? And it's going to be in dollars. Alright, so let's go ahead and label those. We have the origin here at 0. We're going to go, since we gotta go to 55, we're just going to take each one as 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay. We're not going to go up to 80. We're only going to stop at 55. But you get the gist. Since we only have 3 months that we're really doing here, we can skip a line. So just to spread it out some. 2, 3, 4. Okay. We don't need the 4, but you see what it would be. So let's go ahead and graph that, the information we have here. Okay. At 0 months, it was $25. Here's 25 at 0, right? Okay. At 1 month, it was $35. At 2 months, it's $45. At 3 months, it was $55. Okay, so let's now draw our line. Show that it keeps going with my arrow. That same rate. Now, it's a straight line because let's make a note here. Okay, when we put not constant up here, what we really meant is it's not constant. Let's mark that out. It's not proportional. But just because it's not proportional doesn't mean you can't have a constant rate. Because we see now that we've graphed it, it does have a constant rate of change. The line is still straight. But look at your line. What is different between this graph and this graph? Look and see. I'm not talking about the steepness necessarily. Where does it begin? This one begins at the origin. That's important. This one, does it begin at the origin? No, it does not go through the origin. And that right there is going to tell you if something is proportional or not. It does not go through the origin. And if it's not proportional, that's when we use that y equals mx plus b. Okay? So it does not go through the origin. That is super important. That's something we can spot really quickly when we look at a graph. Is it proportional or not? Well, look and see if it goes to the origin. If it starts at the origin, yes, it's proportional. If it doesn't start at the origin, no, it's not proportional. Because a proportional relationship can be measured by an equation in the form of y equals the constant times x, or y equals mx. There's no b in a proportional relationship. Okay? There's no b. Because it doesn't cross it crosses the the y-axis at 0, because that's where it starts. So the graph of a proportional relationship must go through the origin, and has constant rate of change. And we could tell that by a straight line. Right? in a table, a proportional relationship must be represented by, in a table, a proportional relationship is represented by a constant rate of change and sometimes you might see that called constant of proportionality. Okay, and it at 0 y at 0 is the same as x at 0. So you'll always have a 0, 0. Okay, we'll always start at the origin. If your y is 0, your x is 0. Okay? Alright, so bring that to class tomorrow. Put that in your journal. Bring it to class tomorrow. And you can do it 2 ways by putting it in your journal. You can trim up the sides and glue it in, or you can fold it. I like to fold it with the name still showing. And then take your journal, go to the next blank page, which is after your warm-up, and tape it in here. Okay? Alright, have a good night.